Everyone, and welcome to this Tuesday edition of OutKick Bets Show. I am your host, Kayla Knierim, and joining me is my good buddy and co-host, Arky Shea. Arky, how's our Tuesday so far?
What it do, 2K? I'm excited. We're having a great day here over at Casa de Arky, so it's a good day. Yes. Again, we're above the daisies, another chance to make a little money. I'm excited. Listen, Christmas is, 11 days away? That's pretty cool for me.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Well, yeah, that's just
I am not ready.
Skills. Yeah, it's Saturday after next, so I'm pretty excited about that, too. I'm just excited. Life's good.
Life is great. Have you done your holiday shopping yet?
Yeah, it's all done. We kind of try to get that thing done early, especially with all the supply chain issues we never really figure out. So, if we're ordering stuff, we're already well past that. Next time, we'll just go into the stores.
That's what responsible people do, but clearly I'm not one of those people. Still have a few items to check off my list.
Oh, okay. What, you don't have to tell me what you're getting me. I just look forward to it in a minute.
You said Casa de Arky, by the way. Do you make your wife call you the albino rhino?
I do not, actually. She calls me whatever she wants because she has access to my money. So.
Okay. There we go. All right, we're going to take a look at how our bets did the night before, starting out with a bet last night. We had some Monday Night Football, some NBA. Arky, how did it go for the Monday night game for you? Because it didn't go great for me.
Yeah, Monday Night Football was a little bit of a little good, a little bad. It was only bad at the very, very, very end when the Cardinals were coming back and they were down 10 points. They get a big 4th and 9 out inside their own 30, and they convert on the other end of the field, and then they set up for a field goal to make it a one-possession game. That put it at the over 51.5 that we were talking about yesterday, which is not the bet we had, but we were that close. I tried to hex Matt Prater last night. I really did. It did not work in the final 40 seconds of the game. And then I got the Rams +3. I mean, I told you, two good defenses were probably going to be good. And I like the Rams better in that game because it's hard to beat a really good team twice inside the division in the same season. And that's what it turned out to be. It's hard to believe that, the Cardinals, all of their losses are at home this season.
So weird.
It's weird because another one of those losses is the Packers, another really good team too. So it's nothing to shake your head at, but still undefeated on the road and all the losses are at home. That's too bad for them. But a little good, a little bad, and we're overall up for the night.
Well, at least one of us was. I should have listened to you. She's off to a rough start, Arky. Not a great night for your girl. Nothing like starting your week off 0-4. Oh well, these things happen. And guess what? As you say, today is a new day to make money. So let's hope that happens. But yeah, last night wasn't it. I took the Milwaukee at +1 on the road against the Celtics, who took that game 117-103. I don't know why basketball hates me. My picks for football mostly do pretty well, but there is a right way to bet basketball. I do the opposite. Not always, but it feels that way. Jason Tatum, though, however, went off for Boston with 42 points. 16 of those came in the fourth quarter, which killed me. Jaylen Brown was also back in the lineup for the Celtics, scoring 19 points for Boston. Giannis had 20 on the night with 8 rebounds and 3 assists. Drew Holiday also with 20 points. Milwaukee did lose Chris Middleton with a hyperextended knee late in the third quarter. You know what? It just wasn't our night. Our meaning me and the Bucks. Also, I think I'm done with Milwaukee for a while. I love Giannis, but they have now let me down in back-to-back games where I've taken them, so I'm going to pump the brakes with them moving forward for a bit.
Yeah, that's smart. You could put him on ice for a little bit. I told you, Jaylen Brown coming back, if he was healthy, he's going to take some of that attention off Jason Tatum, and he did. Plus, Jaylen Brown's defense was huge in that game. It also didn't help, like you mentioned, Chris Middleton going down in the third quarter, and the C's were able to move on and win that game.
I should have listened to you, a wise one.
Yeah, well, it's a solid night. We're all right.
I was trying to take some chances, and they did not pay off.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to head over to our game of the day. We're looking at the NBA. All of these lines are according to FanDuel Sportsbook, where the Warriors, who are 22-5, 8-3 on the road, will be heading to New York to take on the Knicks, who are 12-15, 5-9 at home. Golden State right now is the 4.5-point favorite with the total here of 211.5. We're all on Steph watch as he is now just 2 3-pointers shy from breaking Ray Allen's record of all-time three-point leaders. And what better place to do it, Arky, than on the stage that is Madison Square Garden? The Knicks have lost 4 straight home games and 7 of their last 10. While they will be able to turn things around, tonight with the Warriors? Not likely, but they can sure try. The Warriors, on the other hand, have won 7 of their last 10 and are coming off a win over the Packers. Coming off a win. Don't know where that came from. So yes, playing in back-to-back road games, that is something to keep in mind. Clearly my notes are a little scrambled. Arky, how are you playing this one tonight?
Well, the fact that they beat the Pacers and the Packers in back-to-back nights
Pacers, thank you. Good old autocorrect.
It was pretty impressive. I'll tell you, I did not expect Steph Curry to be so prolific on the field as he was on the court. Listen, I'm mad at Steph Curry. I'll be honest with you. The Knicks are my team.
Oh.
And if he wasn't going to break the threes record at home, which he wasn't because he wasn't going to get 16 threes, he could have gotten it last night in Indiana. Or he could have done a little better in Philadelphia and made that easier for him to get. He didn't have to do it in the world's most famous arena in front of my New York Knicks because the Knicks suck right now, okay?
Yes.
I love them, but I've lost faith of this entire season. The Knicks go and get Kemba Walker because you think he's going to score a little bit, and maybe Tom Thibodeau has figured it out that you need a little bit scoring with your defense. Kemba Walker's a broken guy, but can still score, but doesn't play defense. So what does Tom Thibodeau do? He benches them even though half the roster's out for COVID. Okay? I've lost faith in this entire team this entire season. I think Tom Thibodeau's doing it out of spite for Kemba and for me. So I cannot vote anywhere near my team to win this game, to cover the spread, but I will be damned if I'm going to bet against them because I really hope the back-to-back hurts Golden State tonight. So instead, I'm going to bet on the history that's going to be made tonight. Steph only needs 2 threes, as you just mentioned, to break that record set by Ray Allen, and then he will put that thing away forever and ever. No one's ever going to touch that mark as far as threes made in a career. The number on FanDuel right now at minus 104 is over 5.5 threes. That's the number you want to get. 5.5 threes. I think this is the kind of game. Listen, he's been sort of middling along the last few games. I think you get a little bit of rejuvenation, a little bit of energy influx for a game like this in this arena to be able to break the record on this night. He will break it, and he will crush that record tonight. So the only thing I will bet on is Steph Curry to go over 5.5 threes, and I will then prayer emoji up to Tom Thibodeau and the gamble gods to try to smite Mr. Steph Curry, or at least the rest of the guys, so the Knicks can win that game. So over 5.5 threes for Steph Curry tonight, and that's it. That's all I'm taking on the game. Don't ask me anymore. I'm mad. I'm mad.
How do you really feel though?
I hate Tom Thibodeau. I hate him. You're being mean. I don't like it.
All right, well, you might not be betting against your team, but I'm going to. So, obviously, Steph is doing Steph things and leads Golden State in points, averaging 27 a game, while Draymond Green picks up the rebounds and assists for the Warriors. Meanwhile, Julius Randle is carrying the Knicks on his back, leading New York in points, rebounds, and assists. Golden State is 17-9-1 against the spread this season, and they are 12-7-1 against the spread when playing as at least the 3.5-point favorite. I do like that record. The Knicks, however, are 10-16 and are 2-6 against the spread when going in as the 4.5-point dogs. Listen, you can't argue with Golden State's defense, which is first in the league as they are holding opponents to an average of 42.5% shooting. That's crazy. That offense isn't too shabby either, averaging 112.5 points per game, putting them third in the league. For reference, the Knicks are averaging 105 per game, landing them at 22nd in the NBA. It also doesn't help that New York's second leading scorer in RJ Barrett is out due to COVID protocols. Furthermore, Golden State is back in first in the West, while the Knicks, who started out somewhat decent, aren't even in the top 10 in the East. So once again, I'm going to do the obvious thing here and take Golden State at minus 4.5, because aside from their win last night over the Pacers, and 3 wins before that, they beat their opponents by 10 or more and combined for a difference of 63 points in those 3 games. So they're doing pretty well right now. I know they are coming off a game last night, and they are in the middle of a road trip, but Steph wants to break that record, and I think the Warriors will come out hot in New York tonight, Arky.
That makes me sad. So we can move on. I don't like knowing that my Knicks are probably going to lose by 20 tonight.
Well, things could be worse. You could be a Thunder fan like me.
Well, true. That's true. I feel better now. I feel better.
Okay, good. Glad we could turn that frown upside down. All right, heading over to our spotlight matchup, we're going to take a look at some college basketball. Number 6, Alabama, who is 8-1. It's their first road trip of the season. They will be heading to Memphis, who is 5-4, 4-1 at home. By the way, I totally forgot Penny Hardaway is Memphis's coach, so that's always fun. But the record is not. Alabama is the 3.5-point favorite as it stands with a total here of 155.5. Bama has won 4 straight, while Memphis has lost 4 straight after starting off the year 5-0. 2 of those losses were at home and 2 on the road, including that one against Murray State, in which they were the 10-point dogs. So it's not great for Memphis. However, aside from a blowout loss to Iowa State, the Tigers' losses haven't been by more than 4 points, which I'm sure has been super fun for Memphis fans. While most of Bama's wins have been dominant, they barely got by Houston on Saturday in an 83-82 final. But let's not discredit those back-to-back wins over ranked opponents in Houston at number 14. And oh yeah, that huge win against number 3 Gonzaga on December 4th, 91-82. Arky, with all of this said, how are you betting this game tonight?
To me, it's easy. It's Alabama or nothing. Alabama is red hot, and they are... Look, there's been a lot of discussion about Memphis and their number 1 recruiting class coming in, and Amani Bates has been fine, right? But we're also talking about a guy who's not even draft eligible for this year's draft because he's not even old enough. Like, he's too young to be drafted, and he's playing in college right now, right? It's kind of wild to think about. And then Curran, the other lottery pick for them, he's doing fine as well. He's a fine rebounder so far, but they haven't sort of been able to put all the pieces together yet for the majority of this season. All of their wins are against teams they should be winning against. Although some of their losses are teams they should be winning against too. They should have beaten Georgia. That's not a very good SEC team. I mean, Memphis is taking on the entire SEC right now. Losing to Georgia, losing to Ole Miss. They got Alabama, who they'll lose to tonight. They got Tennessee on Saturday in a big rivalry rematch. So there is a lot of concern to be had for Memphis. This the spread opened at 3.5, immediately shot to 4.5, was 5 this morning. It's back down to 3.5 as we're talking about it now, and I think it's a good number to take it at. Alabama's got a bunch of great kids that aren't just cool basketball guys, right? They aren't just guys playing for the team. The last 3 recruiting cycles for Nate Oates, they've got a 5-star and 8 4-stars that he's recruited onto that roster. They are loaded.
Decent.
That doesn't even including a guy like Javon Quinterly, who was playing at Villanova a couple seasons ago and transferred to Alabama. Jaden Shackelford's a tremendous junior who's having a career year, 19 points a game. This team shoots a bunch of threes. They make a bunch of threes. They spread the ball out. They don't like taking 2-point shots because threes are better. And it's worked out for the most part. As you said, they've beaten Gonzaga. They've beaten Houston so far. If you put Baylor on the schedule, they would have beaten the entire Final Four, it feels like, already.
Whoa.
If you also get to shoot up UCLA at some point. So Alabama, this is kind of their year to make it shine. Memphis, Penny Hardaway's not a great coach. I don't know what it is about it. He can't get these guys all completely on the same page, at least not right now. He can recruit, can't coach that well. So if you take anything, you take Alabama and you get glad that if you didn't take it last night at 3.5, you can get it 3.5 now. Alabama minus 3.5 to win this game.
All right. Right there with you. I'm going to take a look at the numbers here. Bama is 6-3 against the spread on the season, while Memphis is 4-5. Bama has exceeded this total of 155.5 in 6 of their 9 games this season, and Memphis has reached it in 2 of their 9. I think this has potential to be a bit of a bloodbath, no offense to Memphis, but then again, knowing they are going up against a ranked team at home, maybe we'll see if they can turn it on. I just don't feel confident in that happening. However, I'm going to ride with the tide here, Arky. This one tonight at minus 3.5, and I also think I'm leaning the over of 155.5, knowing that Bama is capable of putting up big points, whether or not Memphis decides to or not. So give me Alabama minus 3.5.
I think the over is probably the smart play too, because Memphis can't score. They're not bad.
Yeah.
The reason this total is the spread is so low is because Memphis is loaded with a lot of really good basketball players. So it could happen. I just have to see it, and I ride the more experienced and better coach in Nate Oates, even though this is first true road game of the season.
That's crazy to me. First road game, and we're in December.
Yeah.
Weird.
Well, he's at a bunch of neutral sites, so they've traveled a little.
True. Yes. Okay. That's a good point. All right, let's head over to our quick hitters of the day. Arky, what are you looking forward to in your quick hitter?
Well, let's show the state of Alabama a little bit more love.
You're all about about Alabama today.
That is right. Thank you, Kayla, for bringing that up. North Alabama, the Fighting Lions, the Roaring Lions, more likely, from Florence, Alabama, are heading. Actually, they're already at Auburn, Alabama, right now at Auburn Arena to take on those Tigers of Auburn, Alabama. And Auburn's a 28.5-point favorite. And that's a lot.
Woo.
I very much understand that that's a lot. This is also a game where Bruce Pearl won't be coaching for the second straight game because he's been suspended by the NCAA. So his son, Stephen Pearl, is going to be coaching, who literally said just yesterday before the game, the last time he was coaching a team was a sixth grade girls basketball team. So,
fabulous.
The last time he was a head coach, a little bit different. North Alabama's a team that's been transitioning to Division I to get up to the big leagues in the Atlantic Sun, and I think this year they'll be eligible for the A-Sun Championship. If not this year, I think it's next year. So they're still in a bit of a transition, and they've lost a couple of big-time games against big teams by a whole bunch of points this season. I don't like laying this many numbers, but I like bringing attention to somebody who not a lot of people are talking about yet, still because we're kind of in that football area. I looked on a mock draft last night, and Jabari Smith, who plays for the Auburn Tigers, was listed as the number one guy to go in the draft to the Detroit Pistons. It's a mock draft. It's December, lock and change, but there's a lot of talent on this Auburn team too. So I like Auburn to cover right now. 28.5 is a ton to give, but they're at home, and I think they just got the much better and more talented team. It could be a little lethargic, but I'm playing a small bet on that, not a big bet, a small bet on Auburn minus 28.5 because Auburn's defense is great. They're forcing like 18 turnovers a game. They're getting a block or a steal on 33% of their possessions, which is phenomenal. It's fourth in the country right now. So Auburn's defense aggressive, Auburn's offense prolific. Go minus 28.5, but do a small bet on it. Just make a little money on it tonight.
I love those big spread bets.
Yeah, they're tough. I would only do them if the team's at home, not on the road.
Nothing like getting that heart rate up. All right, I'm going to take a look at the NHL, where the Carolina Hurricanes, who are 19-7-1, will be visiting the Minnesota Wild, who are 19-8-1. This should be a good one between two icy hot teams with nearly identical records in their first matchup against each other this season. The Hurricanes are currently in second in the Metropolitan Division, while the Wild sit atop the Central Division. Minnesota is the slight favorite here with the puck line, with the total sitting at 6. The Wild return home after coming off a 4-game road trip where they split those road games 2-2, including Arky taking an L to my Kings last week. The Hurricanes, meanwhile, are wrapping up a 5-game road trip tonight at Minnesota. The Wild play exceedingly well at home with a 10-2 record on home ice. They're also averaging around 3.7 goals per game with 103 on the season. Ryan Hartman is leading Minnesota with 13 as it stands. However, the Hurricanes are 12-4 on the road, so don't count them out quite yet. As for those numbers, the total has gone under in 5 of Carolina's last 7 games, but has gone over in 5 of their last 6 games when playing on the road in Minnesota. Not only that, but the total has gone over in 7 of the Wild's last 7 games against the Hurricanes, so that's wild, if you will. You know what that tells me? I think I'm good with taking the over here of 6. Furthermore, Minnesota is 8-2 straight up in their last 10 and 4-1 straight up in their last 5 when facing an opponent from the Eastern Conference. Carolina is 4-1 straight up in their last 5 and 11-4 straight up in their last 15 against teams in the Western Conference. All this tells me is that both teams are really good, and this one could easily turn into a coin flip. The only reason I'm leaning and taking Minnesota in this one straight up is because of the home ice factor. Plus, they're coming off back-to-back losses, and what better way to turn that around than at home with the Hurricanes. Hurricanes are also coming off a loss and rounding out that road trip, so I just think the home team's going to do better in this one. We'll see how much gas they have left in the tank tonight for the Hurricanes, but give me Minnesota straight up and the over of 6, Arky.
I like puck lines, especially if we're going to be scoring a lot of puck totals that are high. And if you're telling me we're going over 6, I'll play with you. I'd rather root for a lot of goals than not a lot at this point.
The odds are in our favor, so I'm just going to ride with it and see what happens.
I've been volunteered as tribute.
Good one. All right, and last but not least today, our games to look out for. Arky, what are you looking forward to?
I told you we were going to talk a little Alabama, and we're going all in on the state of Alabama today.
It's the Alabama show today, folks.
UAB football, not basketball. Listen, UAB basketball does play tonight, but they play a team that they should be by 30 tonight, so it's not that's not the one we want to talk about. We want to talk about the Independence Bowl this Saturday against BYU. BYU, number 13 in the country.
Let's go.
They are a 7-point favorite in this game, and it makes a whole heck of a lot of sense. I think this is a really fascinating matchup because BYU went through the entire season and I think beat all the Pac-12 teams. I'd have to look back at the schedule. It's at least 5 of them that they beat on that schedule. It could have been all of them. It really felt like that. They have been a really, really consistent, good defensive and offensive team, and they've done it a lot on the legs of Tyler Allgeier, who is in the top 10 in rushing this season. I think he's 7th in the rushing with over 1,400 yards this year. I love that matchup because UAB is a defensive-first type team over the last couple seasons, including this year where they are 11th in the country in rushing yards allowed per game. So that's a very big matchup to watch when UAB and BYU go head-to-head because you know BYU will try to shove it down the Blazers' throat. I think BYU is probably the better team to be able to cover the 7 right now, but I don't love it as of this moment. I'm going to wait till it gets closer to kickoff, and maybe we'll play it on Thursday's show. But right now, I'm paying attention to that -7 number for BYU. Maybe if it ticks down to 6.5, I'll go ahead and take it without having to put as much juice on buying the half a point. But I'll tell you, I really, really, really like this game, and I think it's going to be a very fun Independence Bowl to be taking part in Shreveport. So that'll be very exciting to watch that game.
I love bowl season. It's almost here. Cannot wait.
It's so good. Listen, did you know starting Thursday with Thursday Night Football, we will have football for 20 straight days?
Glorious. Music to my ears, Arky.
20 straight days of NFL and college football, baby. It's going to be a whole heck of a lot of fun starting Thursday night.
Truly the most wonderful time of the year.
Just all the presents. All the presents.
All right, and the game I am looking out for is the Packers. 10-3, 4-3 on the road at Ravens, 8-5, 5-1 at home. I'm still laughing about the Warriors beating the Packers. Jeez. Battle of the North, NFC North versus AFC North. Both of these teams sit atop their respective divisions. Green Bay is going into this one at 4.5, but this is definitely sure to change between now and then. Total currently sits at 43.5. Green Bay, of course, is coming off a big win over Chicago. While the Ravens have dropped their last 2 back-to-back to the Browns and Steelers respectively. This one has the potential to make for an interesting game as both starting quarterbacks right now, and Aaron Rodgers and Lamar Jackson, are both currently listed as questionable. Lamar got banged up suffering a low ankle sprain in that Sunday loss to Cleveland, and Rodgers is dealing with a fractured toe that could require minor surgery, but he would obviously like to avoid that at all costs, so TBD there. Arky, did you have something to say about that toe injury?
Aaron Rodgers being a big baby about it, a big weirdo baby about it? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But okay, whatever.
So we should see him, but still TBD. With that said, we can definitely see these lines shift from now until the weekend, as I said at the top, depending on what happens with both quarterbacks. But as it stands, I don't see how there is any way Green Bay doesn't come out on top at Baltimore. Yes, those 2 losses that I mentioned by the Ravens were incredibly close, literally the difference of 1 point and 2 points in last weekend's games. Over the last 2 weekends. They're also returning home where they are 5-1. So don't count them out. If you think about it, Arky, it's just a difference of 3 points is all that separates the Ravens from going into this game at 10-3. Also, Green Bay 10-3. Green Bay has the slight advantage in points per game and points allowed at 25-20, while the Ravens are averaging 23 and allowing an average of 21. These 2 have gone head-to-head 6 times, with Green Bay taking 4 of those and the Ravens coming out on top in 2. But perhaps the most important thing to note here is that the favorite between these 2 is 4-0 in their last 4 meetings. So that makes me feel confident, once again, in taking Green Bay. Looking at the numbers, it's important to note that Green Bay has the best against the spread record in the NFL right now at 11-2 on the season. And on the other side of that, the Ravens are 6-13, just slightly different than Green Bay. So right now, in this moment, assuming all parties are playing, and by parties I mean Lamar Jackson and Aaron Rodgers, I will be taking the Packers at -4.5 on Sunday, and I'm going to stay away from the total for now with all the unknowns flying around. But for what it's worth, the Packers have gone over this total of 43.5 in 8 of 13 games, and Baltimore has done it in 6. So again, if Rodgers and Lamar are playing, and we are assuming they will be until further notice, then you're probably good with taking the over here of 43.5 as well. So
yeah, this is I've gotten to get even a little more conservative with my NBA and my NFL picks as far as when I make them. Because we just saw yesterday 39 players testing positive for COVID or in the NFL.
Crazy.
The NBA has suspended the Bulls for tonight's game against the Pistons and Thursday against the Raptors because of their issues. And every time you look on the old internet, Twitter especially, like you see someone's new being put into the COVID protocols and health and safety protocols for the NBA. So you just aren't quite sure. So that's why I would wait to sort of actually put the money on this game.
Absolutely.
But the Ravens, I mean, God bless them. Like they still fought in that game. Like they're a tough ass team, man. Like they are hard. They are hard to kill, despite the fact that there's nobody healthy on that roster. And Lamar Jackson was out of that game early in the game with an ankle injury. You thought they were dead in the water, and they still covered the spread. So I don't know. Hats off to what John Harbaugh is doing over at Baltimore to keep that team not only just relevant, but able to thrive a little bit and still be able to win that division with the last month to go of the season.
It's weird because I know they started out so hot, but then I don't keep up with the Ravens like I do the Chiefs. So I was even surprised that the record was 8-5 because I guess people just expected them to be the 10-3 team that they could be.
Well, yeah, but like you start at the beginning of the season, you lose all their running backs to injuries. They're losing their two best defensive backs going in the Pittsburgh game. Last week, Lamar Jackson goes out. He's 80% of your offense. Like, how many more of these injuries can Baltimore withstand? And the fact that they're still 3 games above 500 at 8-5 is a minor football miracle from Mr. Harbaugh.
Right. And God bless Lamar Jackson. That kid takes a beating.
Yeah, he does. He does.
All right, we're going to do a quick little recap of all of our picks today so that you can see them right here at the end on the screen. In the Golden State Knicks game, Arky is taking Steph Curry over 5.5 threes.
Boo!
I am going against Arky's team, the Knicks, and I'm taking Golden State at -4.5.
Also, boo.
Looking over to the Alabama-Memphis game, we are both aligned, Arky and I, and we're both taking Bama at -3.5, but yeah, I feel like Bama could run away with this one easily, so nothing's a safe bet, as we know, but that one's probably the safest of the day, and I probably just jinxed us. Looking at North Alabama at number 13, Auburn, Arky is taking Auburn at -28.5. Good luck there, my friend.
Small bet, guys, small bet.
Go big or go home, right? That's what it's all about.
Don't max on this one. Please don't.
And then for my quick hitter, I'm looking at the Hurricanes at Wild. I'm taking the money line of -144, as well as the over of 6 goals. Fingers crossed for that. And then looking ahead to the game this weekend, I am taking the Packers at -4.5 at the Ravens. So we shall see what happens in a bet last night tomorrow.
I can't wait. NFL's on Saturday this week, too. Like, it's a lot of fun stuff. Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, you guys, that's going to do it for our show here today on this Tuesday. As always, don't forget to make your picks at FanDuel.com/OutKick. That is Arky Shea. I am Kayla Knierim. Best of luck in your betting, and we will see you right back here tomorrow on Wednesday. Have a good one.